President Rodrigo Duterte welcomed the arrival of Sinovac.
Dumami pa ang mga Pilipinong gustong magpabakuna.
Barangada ng COVID vaccination.
Yung food court na ito, open na rin bukas.
The whole community will be there.
Na nakatulong sa pagbaba ng mga kaso, ito ang bakuna.
The Philippine College of Physicians invites you to its 25th Mid-Year Convention, hosted by the Central Luzon chapter. In this era of integrating virtual and face-to-face methods, learn on how we can move forward without compromising our practice of medicine. Join us in the 25th Mid-Year Face-to-Face with Limited Zoom Link Convention. Let us learn more practical approaches to relevant and diverse issues in internal medicine with a renewed perspective. Interesting topics await you. On November 18 to 19, 2022. Save the date. See you at the premier convention facility in Central Luzon, Subic Bay Freeport Zone at the Subic Bay Exhibition and Convention Center. Don't be left out. Register now. See you there.
Discover a renewed internist perspective. The PCP Central Luzon invites you to the 25th PCP Mid-Year Convention, happening on November 18 to 19, 2022 at the Subic Bay Exhibition Convention Center. Guess what? We're doing it face-to-face with limited Zoom link. So what are you waiting for? Register now and beat the early bird promo. Register before October 15 and avail of the following discounted prices. Registration is for free for the following members. Here's a quick guide on how you can register. Using your Google or Safari, search for the PCP website and look for the Mid-Year Convention online registration system. Or you can just click the link or scan the QR code found in our poster. Wait to be redirected in the online registration system. Fill up the following information and choose your payment category. Regular rates apply after October 15. You can pay your registration fee over the counter at Philippine National Bank using the following details. Or you can just pay through GCash. Log into your GCash account, tap bills, look for the Philippine College of Physicians name, and key in the following details. And pay. Send your proof of payment to the following email address. Now you're registered. It's as easy as that. So, come and join us at the 25th PCP Mid-Year Convention. Let's all learn and experience Subic Bay.
Iba na kasi ang panahon ngayon. Pakiramdam mo, naglalakad kang pauwi ng hating gabi at kinakabahan ka. Yun bang kahit anong ingat mo, anytime, pwede kang matiyempuhan ng masasamang loob.
Tuwing lalabas ka ng bahay, ang dami mong iniisip na pwedeng mangyari. Para bang nasa gitna ka ng dilim. At nagdarasal ka na lang na sana may proprotekta sa'yo kung sakasakali.
Ang pandemya ay parang isang iskinita na kailangang daanan. Alam mong may nagtatago sa dilim, pero wala kang nakikita. Puno ka lagi ng pangamba. Pero may liwanag na naghihintay. May proteksyon laban sa COVID-19. May maaasahan kang backup. It's time to vac up. Oras na para magpa-COVID-19 vaccine booster for backup protection, control, and prevention. Para sa mga 5 taong gulang at pataas, eligible na kayo para sa first booster shot kung nakumpleto nyo na ang inyong vaccine primary series. If you are a senior citizen or a frontline health worker who is 18 years old or above and have completed your first booster, you are eligible for a second booster shot ayon sa Philippine Department of Health. Ang COVID-19 vaccine boosters ay nagbibigay ng karagdagang proteksyon na maaaring humina na ang bisa mula ng inyong huling vaccination. Booster shots are effective in helping prevent serious illness, hospitalization, and even death. So, stay up to date with your COVID-19 vaccination. Kasama na dito ang booster shots. Magtanong sa inyong doktor o barangay clinic kung ano ang naaangkop na COVID-19 vaccine at tamang panahon para sa inyo. Sabay-sabay nating lakbayin ang daang patungo sa malusog, malakas at magandang kinabukasan. Protect yourself and your loved ones. Help control and prevent the spread of COVID-19. It's time to vac up.
President Rodrigo Duterte welcomed the arrival of Sinovac.
Dumami pa ang mga Pilipinong gustong magpabakuna.
Barangada ng COVID vaccination.
Yung food court na ito, open na rin bukas.
Na nakatulong sa pagbaba ng mga kaso, ito ang bakuna.
The Philippine College of Physicians invites you to its 25th Mid-Year Convention, hosted by the Central Luzon chapter. In this era of integrating virtual and face-to-face methods, learn on how we can move forward without compromising our practice of medicine. Join us in the 25th Mid-Year Face-to-Face with limited Zoom link convention. Let us learn more practical approaches to relevant and diverse issues in internal medicine with a renewed perspective. Interesting topics await you. On November 18 to 19, 2022. Save the date. See you at the premier convention facility in Central Luzon, Subic Bay Freeport Zone at the Subic Bay Exhibition and Convention Center. Don't be left out. Register now. See you there.
Discover a renewed internist perspective. The PCP Central Luzon invites you to the 25th PCP New Year Convention, happening on November 18 to 19, 2022 at the Subic Bay Exhibition Convention Center. Guess what? We're doing it face-to-face with limited Zooming. So what are you waiting for? Register now and beat the early bird promo. Register before October 15 and avail of the following discounted prices. Registration is for free for the following members. Here's a quick guide on how you can register. Using your Google or Safari, search for the PCP website and look for the Mid-Year Convention online registration system. Or you can just click the link or scan the QR code found in our poster. Wait to be redirected in the online registration system. Fill up the following information and choose your payment category. Regular rates apply after October 15. You can pay your registration fee over the counter at Philippine National Bank using the following details. Or you can just pay through GCash. Log into your GCash account, tap bills, look for the Philippine College of Physicians name, and key in the following details. And pay. Send your proof of payment to the following email address. Now you're registered. It's as easy as that. So, come and join us at the 25th PCP New Year Convention. Let's all learn and experience Subic Bay.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of our Lord. Our dearest Heavenly Father, thank you for making all things possible. We are grateful for all the blessings you are pouring upon each one of us, despite the challenges we are all currently facing. Thank you for blessing us today with the wonderful opportunity to meet virtually and learn together in the awesomely exciting webinar. May your blessings of wisdom and guidance be upon us, all through the sharing and impartation of knowledge and skills by our resource speakers, facilitators, and moderators. May all of us learn together, upgrade our competencies, and capacitate us to be the help in the development of our learners' lives and communities in the spirit of your love and generosity. May we now humbly commit every part of this webinar to you as we all bring you the glory, honor, and praises for your kingdom and holy name's sake. All this we pray in the precious name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
dreadful darkness, we shall leave the light and lead a path to wisdom. Our will to be our lives to those in pain and suffering. We shall hear a call with arms to care and comfort from that above all to face the brighter future. Bound in unity, the Philippine College of Physicians, we shall be hand in hand, building a stronger nation. This
The Philippine College of Physicians, through the Committee on Media Communication and Health Forum, presents its bi-monthly lay forum to promote the advocacies and mission of the college and its component and affiliate societies. An avenue of accurate and up-to-date conversations with the media and the general public, with timely and diverse topics covering vital public health and medical information, straight from the experts. In a platform that is convenient, accessible, and highly engaging. Welcome to the PCP Health Forum.
Good morning, everyone. A pleasant morning to our colleagues, friends from media, regular followers in our PCP Lay Forum, watching from our Zoom platform and from our Facebook Live. We know that human health closely linked to the health of our planet, and that everything that happens to the planet also affects us. The climate crisis poses a threat to human health. Climate change is exacerbating many direct and indirect risks and impacts that are already affecting a number of people who are getting sick and dying in the world today. So for today's webinar, I am your host, Dr. Ginger Samonte, the chair of the Committee on Media Communications, that we will be discussing one of the important topics that we are facing today in the whole world. Before I proceed with today's webinar, may I call on the Board of Regents, Dr. Regina Berba, to give her opening remarks. Dr. Berba, to give us her opening remarks. Maybe we could just proceed. Is there any? I think there's a technical glitch in terms of Dr. Berba joining us today. So maybe we could just proceed with the webinar as planned. So we'll just continue with it. So again, I apologize for this little problem that we are facing for this webinar, but I will just continue with the lay forum. So to continue, may I remind everyone that they can type in their questions, comments, and clarifications in the chat box. So today's webinar would be quite a little different one because today we are commemorating the Day of Rising, which the date today is November 8th. Exactly at November 8th, 9 years ago, our country, particularly the province of Leyte, experienced one of the strongest typhoon in history, named Yolanda, or the international name of Typhoon Haiyan. Who would not remember the difficult time that our country and our fellow kababayans in Leyte experienced, the damage that has left, including the trauma and the fear that carved in the memories. But on the positive note, it raised more awareness and the need to protect our Mother Earth. Because we all know that another Yolanda is not far behind if we remain complacent and uncaring and passive to this problem. Here in PCP, the event lighted the passion and the spirit that as a society, we must be frontliners in this advocacy in the call to fight climate change. So to continue, may I ask now Dr. Berba, the Board of Regents, to give her opening remarks. Ma'am?
Hello, good morning po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ay galak na i-open ang ating session po for today. Ito po ay napakahalagang pagkakataon for all of us, and in behalf of all the members of the Board of Regents of the Philippine College of Physicians, I welcome you all to this very important topic today. Alam naman natin na restoring the environment very, very important, that directly or indirectly will affect all of us, particularly sa ating kalusugan po. So, nagpapasalamat po tayo sa lahat ng mga naging participants na nag-develop nitong programang to. Particularly po ang ating, we are very honored to have as our main resource speaker today, Dr. Paula Teresa Santa Maria, who is actually the chair of our Committee on Climate Change, Environment, and Health at the Philippine College of Physicians. We really look forward to for us to be enlightened on things that we can do for the future of our Earth. Maraming salamat po, and thank you very much to everybody for tuning in.
Thank you, Dr. Berba. So to continue with our health forum for today, before I continue, I would like to recognize the presence of the president of the PCP, Dr. Diana Payawal, is joining us in this today's lay forum. Ma'am, thank you for the support that you have been giving the committees of the different committees of the PCP. So to continue with the webinar, we would like to present to you the hard work of this committee 9 years ago as we celebrate the Day of Rising in commemoration of the November 8th incident with Typhoon Yolanda and Haiyan. So let me introduce to you the AVP of the Committee on Climate Change and Environment. Please play the AVP. Thank you.
As we've been reporting, the Philippines is facing one of the worst natural disasters in its history this morning. The super typhoon that slammed into the country Friday brought vast destruction. Haiyan is among the most powerful typhoons on record.
Looking at the aftermath of one of the strongest storms ever to tear across the ocean and smash into land.
Dang alas 4 ng madaling araw, naglandfall ang bagyong Yolanda sa Giwan, Eastern Samar. Pero hanggang Tacloban City, ramdam na ang hagupit ng malakas na hanging dala ng bagyo.
Dear Lord, adi ako, waray na pamilya, waray pa siniserungan, waray panagtun, waray karaonon, kundi waray hunong paglaom, gugma mo kusog ko.
Good morning. I am Dr. Paula Santamaria, the chair of the Philippine College of Physicians Committee on Climate Change, Environment, and Health. November 8, 2013, exactly 9 years today, Super Typhoon Haiyan landed to us, ravaged by Eastern Visayas region, leaving death and desolation in its wake. It's a storied past of human suffering, anguish, and a declaration of our human frailty. All the stories are heart-wrenching, yet beyond this brokenness shines our inner light of hope, resilience, and victory, so we can tell our story. Today, the latest summer community observed Pasiyang to commemorate the dearly departed Haiyan claimed. There is no liturgical significance to this practice, yet we cling on to this tradition to keep the memory of the struggle alive. For in remembrance, we deepen our reflection and we strengthen our resolves to make this right. May I invite everybody to come together in prayer as we ask the Heavenly Father to look down upon us and let perpetual light shine upon our dearly departed and to all who are grieving. We also dedicate this webinar to honor the valor and the generous hearts of all the good doctors and great men and women who came, who saw, and conquered us with love in our helplessness. Salamat hin madamo ha iyong tanan. Yolanda happened because of climate change. Must it take a super typhoon Haiyan to make us acknowledge the inconvenient truth? How many lives should we put on the front because of climate change and environmental impacts to nudge us, to move us into action? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and privilege to formally open the November 8th Day of Rising Queen event 2022. And with pride, may I present to you all the staunch activists of Mother Earth and her people, the Philippine College of Physicians Committee on Climate Change, Environment, and Health, Doctors of Earth.
Restore Earth, restore health. By this order, we believe we can sustain a healthy future for Mother Earth and the generations to come. Good morning. I am Dr. Jonathan Moses Hadlock, the founding chair of Philippine College of Physicians Committee on Climate Change. In 2014, the Philippine College of Physicians committed to be responsive to the changing environment. The Committee on Climate Change was organized. The committee rests on a solid framework, recognizing the sensitive interplay of climate change, environmental degradation, and human and planetary health systems. The vision is to restore a balanced and thriving ecosystem, resulting in a resilient Philippines against climate change. With the marching order to teach, to plant, to protect, the national goal of PCP is to enhance the capability of the Philippine College of Physicians membership and communities to adapt to climate change and formulate strategies to mitigate threats towards safe and sustainable ecosystem. Recognizing that climate change and environmental impacts continue to exact a heavy toll on Mother Earth and her people, the committee was amended to become the Committee on Climate Change, Environment, and Health in 2021, rallying internists to take on their new role as IM Doctors of Earth. So the way forward is to teach, to plant, to protect. We have reached 38,990 audiences for climate change education and developed modules on vital climate change, environment, and health problems. The college also launched the Climate Change and Health Primer and have a technical working group to pursue a collaboration with Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, to include climate change education in the tertiary and medical colleges curriculum. And of course, finally, the Green Event, With the dynamic local chapters, we have planted 61,824 trees and counting, to include mangrove and hardwood varieties. To complete, we protect by supporting 9 biodiversity protection projects nationwide.
A wonderful green morning to all our viewers. I am Dr. Marisonia Belentan, the head of the Green Event and Biodiversity Conservation Project of the Philippine College of Physicians Committee on Climate Change, Environment, and Health. The November 8th Day of Rising Green event captures the internists of the Philippine College of Physicians as they embrace their new vocation as I Am Doctors of Earth. Launched in 2014, the Climate Change Committee Prime Movers organized a November 8th Day of Rising to commemorate the victims of Super Typhoon Yolanda. Powered by the mantra, to teach, to plant, to protect, the November 8th Day of Rising became an annual nationwide project of PCP chapters, initially observed on the day itself. As more and more climate change projects poured in, the activity stretched to a week long, and finally to a green event lasting for 1 month since 2021. Foremost in the green event is the tree growing project. Every year, more and more trees are planted, reflecting the internists' burning desire to be true earth warriors. Not even the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdowns could extinguish the flame in the hearts of climate change fighters. Passionate plantitos and plantitas discovered their green thumbs and created flourishing gardens and mini forests. Talk of personal carbon sinks. Creating awareness on climate, environment, and health-related activities was integral. During the pandemic, lectures through webinars became our main avenue to spread our advocacy, aiming to reach to as much audience as possible. Poster and video making contests gave more learnings on climate change in art form. To extend our boundaries, collaborative activities with the local government units and civic organizations were also created. To reinforce our efforts to save Mother Earth, a 10-for-10 biodiversity conservation project was conceived and eventually launched in November 2018. The program envisioned 10 conservation sites adopted by PCP chapters for 10 years. To ensure continuity of care, a memorandum of agreement was made between the PCP chapter and their respective local government unit. PCP chapter could also apply for funding to develop the sites. The first project was in Mahagnao Conservation Park in Borawen, Leyte. Now on its 5th year, the Biodiversity Conservation Project grew to more than 10 sites, having 11 as of date. The PCP I Am Doctors of Earth continue to be trailblazers to restore Earth, restore health. Together, we can.
Clean air is essential to sustain the breath of life. Poor air quality continues to claim more than 7 million lives annually due to inhalation of toxic particulate matters, ozone, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and carbon monoxide. These air pollutants target primarily the lungs. However, the fine particulate matter 2.5 can penetrate the delicate alveolo-capillary network and find its way into our circulation to incite a systemic inflammation, leading to cardiovascular diseases, cancers, and death. Because of this, the World Health Organization urged all its member nations to adhere to air quality guidelines. That means bringing the levels of all these air pollutants way down. The ambition here is to clean up our air to afford public health. In the 2022 Environment Performance Index, the air quality in the Philippines ranked 132 of 180 nations, very close to that of Cambodia and Vietnam. And it begs us to ask, how can we do better? We need to ramp up Republic Act 8749 or the Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999 to move to a sustainable future.
What is the effect of air pollution and cardiovascular health? Research by the United States Environmental Protection Agency and others have found that exposure to increased concentrations of particulate matter with diameters less than 2.5 micrometers over a few hours to weeks can trigger cardiovascular disease-related heart attacks and death. Long-term exposure can lead to increased risks of cardiovascular mortality and decreases in life expectancy. For the population as a whole, short and long-term exposure have been shown to increase hospitalizations for serious cardiovascular events such as coronary syndrome, arrhythmia, heart failure, stroke, and sudden cardiac death, particularly in people with established heart disease. People with chronic heart disease may experience one or more of the following symptoms following exposure to fine particulate matter: heart palpitations, unusual fatigue, lightheadedness, shortness of breath, and chest tightness or pain in the chest, neck, or shoulder. What are the common sources of particulate matter 2.5? Some are emitted directly from a source, such as construction sites, unpaved roads, fields, smokestacks, or fires. Most, however, form in the atmosphere as a result of complex reactions of chemicals such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides, which are pollutants emitted from power plants, industries, and automobiles. Here are some steps we can take to reduce health effects from air pollution to protect your heart. First, know when and where particle pollution levels may be unhealthy. Check the Air Quality Index, which provides forecast of daily air quality. Plan activities when and where pollution levels are lower. Change your activity level. When the air is polluted, reduce activity. And last but certainly not the least, reduce overall risk of heart disease or stroke by making healthy lifestyle changes.
Endocrine disrupting chemicals are chemicals or a mixture of chemicals that interfere with any aspect of hormone action. For the past 50 years, more than 1,000 research articles have implicated ETCs with modern day diseases such as obesity, cardiovascular problems, diabetes, and reproductive disorders. Why do they matter? Because EDCs are everywhere, and very low doses can cause harm, which is delayed and irreversible, and these effects are largely overlooked. We should consciously try to diminish our use and exposure to EDCs and increase awareness, and eventually lobby for research and governing policies to protect us, consumers, from endocrine disrupting chemicals.
I am Noel Katbagan, and let me talk to you briefly on arsenic, a heavy metal and as of recently can be considered a new dread to our health. The threat of arsenic to our health has been here in our doorstep as a result of a series of events, including mining disasters such as the 1996 Mark Copper incident, and more recently with the reports on the detection of high levels of arsenic in lake waters of 9 towns in Batangas and nearby areas, amplified by the recent eruption of the Taal volcano. Why are we raising our alarm on this? because arsenic exposure, especially if chronic, can cause significant disease and, more importantly, cancer. Having arsenic in our backyard, being exposed to it, increases the risk for cancer and cancer deaths. And preventing further exposure is very important and may be the only effective solution to this problem. Why is arsenic poisoning related to our stand on climate change? It is because climate change amplifies our risk for exposure as a result of runoffs from areas with high arsenic concentration, as in mining, or those areas with high volcanic activity, due to the increase in the amount of rain and precipitation, and in the number of typhoons of overly increasing strength visiting our country, such as Yolanda in 2013. This is why the PCP Committee on Climate Change, Environment and Health is advocating this fight against arsenic poisoning in our country. We aim to spread awareness of this new scourge so that everyone, especially those living in high-risk areas, know what to do to prevent the disease. We aim to empower individuals and communities to be vigilant and to report activities detrimental to the environment and the climate to the proper authorities. Most importantly, we aim to encourage every one of us to share themselves and be part in our fight to prevent climate change as doctors for the earth. This is our advocacy on arsenic to restore our health and restore our earth. Only if we help each other shall we achieve great things. Thank you.
Good day, fellow protectors of Mother Earth. Dr. David Suzuki, the award-winning geneticist of the University of British Columbia, said that when plastics do break down, they don't biodegrade. Rather, they break into increasingly smaller pieces, many of which end up in the oceans as microplastics that harm aquatic life and birds. Indeed, our planet has been ravaged by plastic pollution. Based on the National Geographic report by Laura Parker, production of plastic increased exponentially from 2.3 million tons in 1950 to 448 million tons by 2015 and is expected to double by 2050. 8 million tons of plastic waste escapes into the oceans annually and are estimated to break down at least 400 years. Sadly, the healthcare profession is a big contributor to this pollution. Based on the article done by Yasser et al. In 2021, plastic is considered as one of the main components of healthcare waste due to the great usage of disposable plastic items in hospitals. As part of this global dilemma, it is our goal to aim for zero non-essential plastics so as to lessen the load of plastic pollution. We extend our gratitude to Healthcare Without Harm, which is a non-profit organization that leads in the global movement for environmental health and justice, who has come up with the global green and healthy hospitals. But how do we define green hospital? According to the report entitled A Comprehensive Environmental Health Agenda for Hospitals and Health Systems Around the World, there is no global standard that defines what a green and healthy hospital is or should be. But in essence, it can be defined as follows. A green and healthy hospital is one that promotes public health by continuously reducing its environmental impact and ultimately eliminating its contribution to the burden of disease. A green and healthy hospital recognizes the connection between human health and the environment and demonstrates that understanding through its governance, strategy, and operations. It connects local needs and with environmental action and practices primary prevention by actively engaging in efforts to foster community environmental health, health equity, and a green economy. Through our advocacy in zero non-essential plastics and green hospital, we can uphold our Hippocratic oath of first, do no harm, not only to our patients, but most especially to Mother Nature. Good day.
Towards the end of October 2022, Tacloban City declared a cholera outbreak, which as of November 2 has left 5 dead and 426 sick from this acute diarrheal illness. The outbreak was traced to a polluted creek that served as source of household water for 3 relocation sites for Yolanda displaced victims. Water from refilling stations within the relocation site also tested positive for E. coli. Unfortunately, this is not the first cholera outbreak this year. Other regions, especially in eastern Visayas, have reported cholera outbreaks earlier this year as well. We know that cholera is transmitted by ingestion of contaminated water and food. We therefore know that it is a preventable disease. We also know that sanitation and clean, unpolluted water sources are essential. We can help our fellow Filipinos by educating them on how to obtain safe drinking water and how to keep their water sources clean and uncontaminated. We can also advocate for more immediate and more concrete steps from our LGUs to address this lack of clean water.
The crown of thorns starfish is a large starfish that eats up hard and stony corals. This means it could consume the whole coral population, destroying a lot of breeding areas for fish and other marine organisms. We need to help protect the coral reefs, creating awareness on how we can promote marine biodiversity protection is just as important as controlling this crown of thorns starfish. And our own special project, Doctors of Earth, shall help rehabilitate marine ecosystem by deploying artificial reefs in selected marine sanctuaries. Para sa karagatan, para sa inang kalikasan.
We are very delighted to inform everyone that we, the PCP Committee on Climate Change, Environment and Health, are going to launch a website. In this site, you can have a glimpse of the previous projects that we work on, as well as our future calendar of activities. We are looking forward for continued support and assistance on the future endeavors of our committee.
You've heard the hard science part about climate change. You've heard about the different projects of the Philippine College of Physicians to address these issues. And now that we know that, what are we going to do about it? Well, we can talk about it and share the information with our colleagues, social media friends, families, maybe even strangers sitting next to us during our travels. We can do the science talk, or we can do the humor talk. There's one very glaring information about the Clean Air Act of 1999. It's that it was enacted in 1999 and it's now 2022. We've been sharing the science for quite a while now. So we're also opening a new approach, the humor talk. Dr. Maxwell Boykoff, PhD, Associate Professor of Environmental Studies at the University of Colorado, Boulder, said that humor can make the complex dimensions of climate change seem more accessible and its challenges seem more manageable. For example, a cartoon sketch shows 4 guys. One guy says, "Let's talk about climate change." And the 3 other guys says, "Sure, do you mind if we smoke?" And they have lighted cigarettes dripping from their mouth. So in that one picture, several pages of issues about climate change are already captured. Singable music like "They Paved Paradise to Put Up a Parking Lot" captures how urbanization has caused the disappearance of forests. That song goes, "Don't it always seem to go that we don't know what we've got till it's gone? They paved paradise to put up a parking lot." So yeah, let's do the fun talk too. Share cartoons, music, and art forms to get people to join in and make this earth a healthy place. Healthy earth, healthy us.
Okay, so thank you to the Committee on Climate Change, Environment, and Health. I would like to congratulate, a round of applause. Palakpakan po natin ang Committee on Climate Change and Environment and Health for their 9 years of hard work in order to help promote the climate change, how will it affect the health of our country and syempre sa buong mundo, hindi lang sa ating bansa. So we would like to thank the committee chair, Dr. Paula Santa Maria. Ma'am, maraming salamat sa committee mo. Dr. Hadlock, siya yung founding chair pala noong time na yon. Ang dami ko pong natutunan and I know that many of our viewers and followers learned about more on climate change. So ma'am, can you please introduce yourself and also please pakipakilala din po yung mga iba-ibang champions or movers ninyo dun sa inyong committee.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Ginger, and happy and refreshing Tuesday morning to our PCP President, Dr. Diana Payawal, the officers and Board of Regents of the Philippine College of Physicians, to our friends, our guests right here in Radio Veritas, magandang umaga po. And Dr. Ginger, thank you so much for this honor to have all of us, the Committee on Climate Change, Environment, and Health of the Philippine College of Physicians, as your featured guest today. So it's been a good 8 years since the Philippine College of Physicians created the Committee on Climate Change. And what a great platform this is for everybody to be aware of who we are, what we do, what we stand, and what we aspire for. And that is ang kalusugan ng inang daigdig at ang kanyang mga anak. So what we just presented are but snippets of our footprint, and it's very inspiring, heartwarming indeed to see Doctors of Earth to come out from the comfort zone of offices, clinics, and hospitals to come together collectively to treat the most formidable patient of all times, Mother Earth. So on this solemn day, November 8, 2022, exactly 9 years after the onslaught of Haiyan, it's definitely a great time to rally everybody to come together to restore Earth and restore health. So magandang umaga po and congratulations and thank you so much to all the members of the Philippine College of Physicians Committee on Climate Change, Environment, and Health for your effort and dedication. Really, everybody has been moved not only to an advocacy, but to activism to really help Mother Earth. So here we are. So if we have any questions and clarifications or maybe suggestions you would like to forward, we're in it.
Okay, so ma'am, we are asking the followers, the viewers, if you have any questions, clarifications, suggestions regarding this topic for today, feel free to type in your questions dun sa ating Facebook account and ating Zoom platform. So yun nga, no, maraming salamat po dito sa mga doktor na to. Na yun nga sinabi ni doktora, no, naging courageous kayo to go out of your clinics and hospital just to fight for this advocacy. Kasi hindi naman po ito yung typical na ginagawa, sorry po, na doktor. So I'm very proud of you kasi, di ba, ang idea lang natin ng pagiging isang doktor yung naggagamot ka, tumitingin ka ng pasyente sa hospital, pero hindi natin masyadong nabibigyan pansin yung ating social responsibility in terms of, lalo na to, taking care of the environment. With that, I would like to ask this question na sinabi ko nga po kanina sa introduction, there is a direct and indirect effect of climate change sa health. Siguro, doktora or any member of your group can elaborate on a layman's level na ano namang koneksyon ng pagtatanim po ng mga puno or yung paglilinis ng dagat sa ating kalusugan. Ba't naman kailangan pang gawin yon? So, sa layman's term or ano po ba ang magiging direct effect nito? Sino po kaya sa inyo?
I think I have to get that question, Dr. Ginger.
Yes.
Again, good morning, my dear viewers. I am Dr. Jonathan Moses Hadlock, the founding chair of the committee. And since the question is all about the science of the climate crisis, then I'm going to take that question. Now, Since the beginning, normally the Earth receives its warmth from the sun through the infrared rays. And these infrared rays are trapped in a natural greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. So that gives us a good warmth of around 16 degrees average for the Earth to thrive. And that's normal. That's God's given directive. However, through time, through the use of coal, petroleum, diesel, and gas, this natural greenhouse gas layer is thickened. In fact, each day, whatever we do in the different sectors of life, whether the industries, in the hospitals, at home, we discharge 162 million tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and that makes this greenhouse gas thicker. So when the greenhouse gas is thicker, it traps more heat. And in fact, since the pre-industrial revolution in 1890 up to this time, our Earth has warmed around 1.06 degrees Celsius. And that has a systemic effect over the climate. Now, it's not linear. We can always, carry on 1.6 degrees Celsius warming in our body, but the Earth cannot. And so this 1.06 degrees Celsius warming is called global warming. It has warmed the planet, and it has impact on the climate over the oceans as well. And first, I'm going to talk about the impact of the heat. So since we are already warming, we experience longer summers, shorter winters. And even when summers come, they give this extreme temperatures in different parts of the country or different parts of the world. In our country, Isabela, Dagupan, Butuan has experienced like 40 to 50 degrees heat index. That's quite alarming. And even in Iran, around 74 degrees Celsius because of global warming. Now, it has an impact over health. It actually exacerbates like health, like bronchial asthma. It also gives conditions like cardiovascular diseases. It increases cardiovascular events with these heat waves. And even for some temperate countries who are not used to heat waves, there are actually deaths. So it has a direct impact over these people who are not actually aware or not used to those heat waves. Now, as far as the oceans are concerned, this extra heat that is trapped in the atmosphere is only around 7% that stays there, but most of them will actually go to the ocean and is absorbed by the ocean. So it gives us an abnormal oceans warming. And when the oceans are actually warm, it fuels up these storms and these typhoons, and that gives us stronger and more frequent cyclones. Now, the Philippines is actually facing the Pacific Oceans over the east, and 80% of these typhoons that are actually cooked over the ocean, they go eastward to the Philippines, and that's why there are around 20 to 22 typhoons each year. And most of this have been unprecedented to become Category 3, Category 4, Category 5, all because of oceans warming. Now, how do we counter this oceans warming? We have to increase the carbon sink. And that's exactly the reason why we need to plant trees. As always, I say, we have to compete with the oceans. And the only way to compete with the oceans is to increase the carbon sink by planting more trees so that the extra heat that is in the atmosphere could be absorbed by the trees and will not go to the ocean, preventing oceans warming. But that is already happening. And of course, with the warm air that is in the atmosphere, it absorbs more moisture. It increases the carrying capacity of the atmosphere for those moisture. And this moisture, when they are actually encounter a weather disturbance, they are dropped as rain bombs. And that's why we have increased precipitation. We have flooding all over that we can see worldwide. And of course, again, for the last part, this same moisture and warming that is in the atmosphere, they also suck the water from the ground, and it also causes us droughts. So direct effects, it's about the cardiovascular effects from heat. And of course, indirect is coming from the storms and coming from precipitations, which we all experience all over the world today.
Ayun. So, Sir, no, napaliwanag mo yung dikit-dikit na sequence of events, no? So kailangan pag nag-address po tayo ng problema na to, lahat ng aspects, sir, kailangan nating i-correct. Kasi kung isang correction lang, hindi magiging kompleto yung cycle. And yun nga naalala ko sa pag-aaral, di ba sir, parati sinasabi, plant trees kasi sila din daw po yung sumisipsip ng water. Kaya nga, di ba sir, ang daming flooding, especially hindi, kasi sa urban area, alam natin, one cause of flooding is yung mga drainage na poor, na madudumi, na contributory tayo kasi plastics, ganyan, hindi tayo malinis sa ating kapaligiran. Pero yun nga, sa probinsya naman sir, ang magiging cause is deforestation. Tama po ba na nag-iepekto na kaya maraming landslide, saka po pagbabaha, kasi nga nagkakalbo na ang ating mga kabundukan kasi nga na-urbanize na rin or ginagamit sa kung ano-anong bagay na ma-monetize na gusto natin na pagkakitaan. Pero ang nakikita lang ng kababayan natin, yung benefit ngayon, hindi nila nakikita yung magiging harm in the long term, lalo na yung mga kaanak-anakan natin, no? Sila yung magbe-bear nitong ginagawa nating, sabi natin quote-unquote na maling practice na ating mga kababayan na in the future ang sasagot or makakaranas nito na I think nararanasan na natin, no? Kasi palala na nga ng palala yung bagyo. Recently lang nga yung Paeng, no? Ang daming mga taong naapektuhan lalo na sa Mindanao area. So may isa pang question dito from Annabelle. Tanong is, may binanggit po kanina na 9 biodiversity na pinagtututunan ng pansin. Ano po ba ito? Paki-enumerate po. Salamat kay Annabelle Sura from Radyo Aguila Net 25. Maraming salamat Annabelle sa pagtangkilit sa amin dito ha. Sino po kayang pwedeng sumagot sa question ni Ma'am Annabelle?
Yes, good morning, Doktora. Doktora. Yes, opo. Thank you for that inquiry. Siguro gusto mo rin mag-adapt. Presently, we have 11. That is as of March of 2022. Okay, yan. Ito na yung ating updated list of biodiversity projects. So, Central Luzon, National Greening Program, Eastern Visayas. Okay. So, Eastern Visayas Protected Area of Mahagnao, Volcano Park, Western Visayas, Panay Chapter, Community-Based Mangrove Development, Western Mindanao, Artificial Coral Reef. Yun pong sa Western Mindanao, siya lang po yung merong non-terrestrial na project po. All the rest po are terrestrial. So Artificial Coral Reef po for Western Mindanao. Upper Northeastern Luzon po are 10,000 living trees in 10 years. Southern Luzon has 2 biodiversity projects. The first is Dalahican para sa kalikasan. And in 2021, the chapter adopted the watershed in San Pablo, Adapt to Plant project. And then Northern Mindanao, adopt a nature reserve, Malasag Eco Park, reforestation. Caraga, we have Save Tagibo, watershed reforestation and rehab project. Southern Mindanao, Mount Talomo, Lipadas, watershed protection, development, and management. And ang amin pong pinaka-baby, which joined us March 2022, is the Northern Luzon chapter, Adopt a Park program. They adopted a site in Burnham Park. So ayun po, all these sites po are being monitored every year. Every year din po, nagsasubmit din po sila ng reports as to their progress, kung ano pong problems na meron sila. And then, so far naman po, everything is going well with all the adapted sites.
Yes, Doktora Tan, si Ma'am Annabelle po nagtatanong is kung pwede daw makahingi ng kopya. Siguro ma'am gusto niyang i-report po itong mga trabaho ninyo regarding how to take care of the environment.
Yes, sure po. Opo, we have filed naman po sa aming secretariat. So makikipag-coordinate na lang po tayo sa ating secretariat, and then give us po your email address, and then i-forward po namin sa inyo yung all the materials that you need.
May binigay na niya yung kanyang email address. So, Sir,
Okay po.
siguro paki-note po, take note po yung address ni Ma'am para mabigyan po natin. Another question from Ma'am Annabel is, may mga problems po regarding watershed. Ano po ang mga hakbangin na ginagawa ninyo to address these problems? Thank you, sabi po niya.
Okay, ganito po. So far po, yung mga biodiversity sites po that adopted watershed, wala naman pa po silang ibinibigay, nire-report sa amin na naging problem. Kasi po nandun po kami sa phase ng planting. So planting po ang phase po. So since ang mga projects naman po is coordinated with their respective LGUs, so lahat po ng problems or concerns po nila, kung meron man, will be directly coordinated to their respective LGUs. But as far as the committee, climate committee is concerned, wala pa pong nakarating sa amin na report that they had problems with watersheds.
Okay. Ma'am, may question po from Dr. Genevieve Doble. How can they join? Siguro yung din ang question ko dun sa mga nakikinig sa atin or future na makikinig sa ating webinar. Kasi alam nyo ba na yung webinar natin pwedeng mag-view siya at a later time, and also it will be uploaded in our YouTube channel. So baka may mga makikinig sa atin na interesado na sumali sa ating advocacy dito sa PCP. Paano nga daw po makasali? Sino po
sa
kayo?
advocacy po? Opo, sa advocacy po. Ganito po, Doktora, every year po, in celebration of the green events, we are sending chapters an invitation letter. Doon po sa invitation letter, naka-indicate po doon our advocacy, and meron na din po kaming inilagay doon na projects that they may opt to do. But since it is a green event, foremost po talaga sa project ang tree growing. So kahit po saan, with the pandemic nga po, naging very creative ang mga members, ang mga gardens nila, naging forest. Ang kanilang mga terrace, ang kanilang mga lanay, naging forest po. So it's greening. Ngayon po, ang pinakamaganda pong step 1 is to coordinate with your local government units, coordinate with your local DENR, kasi sila po yung nakakaalam kung saan-saan po kayo pwedeng mag-adapt ng site. Example po, maisabi ko lang po dito sa aming area, I am from South Luzon, I am from San Pablo City. Meron po kasi kami ditong watershed, we call it Malabanban watershed, that supplies water in some areas of Rizal and San Pablo and nearby towns. So yun po, San Pablo Water District po kasi ang local government agency that takes care of it. So doon po kami nakipag-coordinate. So ang step 1 po ninyo, so go to your LGU, go to your local DENR, and sila po ang nakakaalam kung paano po kayo magkakaroon ng site for your adoption.
Saka ma'am, siguro po yung local, I know that this committee has a strong partnership with the different chapters of the PCP.
Yes po.
Na kung ikaw, you belong to a chapter at gusto mong sumali, pwede rin naman to the chapter committee, no? Yung chapter na committee.
Opo.
Pwede din gusto silang samahan ng ating mga magagaling, matatapang at masisipag na members ng Committee on Climate Change, Environment and Health. Maaari kayong sumali, no? So,
yes, Doktora. Opo. Ako po kasi personally, I have this personal communication with each chapter. Iniisa-isa ko po talaga yung 30 yan. Every year talaga meron po kaming Viber Brigade. So iniisa-isa ko po talaga sila. Just now po, I had been communicating with the Manila and the lower northeastern Luzon chapters. Tapos iniisa-isa ko po talaga sila lahat. So kung may concern po kayo, direct nyo po sa akin. Ang akin pong Viber ay Pwede ko pong ibigay sa inyo. Opo, opo. Open na open po tayo. Opo.
Contact sila, ma'am, sa PCP admin, no?
Yes po.
Kung
Opo.
interesado kayo na tumulong dito sa advokasya, napakagandang advokasya na inaalagaan natin. Hindi lang para sa ngayon, ito yung magiging future ng mga kaapu-apu-apuhan pa natin. Na
Yes
kailangan
po. Opo. That is our legacy or pamana.
pamana. Kasi hindi lang
Opo.
paggagamot ang pagiging doktor. Ito rin ay pangangalaga ng ating kalikasan, no? Bring it back to Mother Earth. So, yun nga, na-expound na natin yung mga ways kung paano tayo on our own little way. Naalala ko nga yun sa lecture ni Dr. Hadlock sa ni Dr. Noel, no? Nagbigay na po tayo ng webinar, parang ano na sila, no? Prior to this main event, meron na tayong event lectures na small lectures na nabigay about arsenic poisoning and climate change impact sa health na given by these two people from the Advocacy Committee of Climate Change. So, yon, marami na tayong natutunan doon. And then marami pa po tayong matututunan. Yung may mga bagay na ako rin as a doctor, honestly, I learned a lot kasi parang hindi ko alam na pwede palang ganun, no? Parang hindi mo alam na may connection, pero lalabas. May connection talaga yung mga maliliit na bagay natin, minsan di natin pinapansin. Pero napakalaki pala ng impact sa ating kalusugan. So, may question ulit. Siguro magbigay muna tayo ng isa pang question before we wrap up this webinar. Tungkol po sa air pollution, may data po ba kayo kung alin mga cities ang most polluted po? And dahil po most polluted, mas marami po bang pasyente sa city or syudad na ito?
Hello, I should take that question. So, like I said, I have a international data. Yung po yung sa Environmental Protection Index. Gawa po yon ng yung sa Yale at saka Columbia University in collaboration doon yung sa environmental impact. So ang ranking natin among 180 countries is 132 of 180. So inakala natin na we would rank better kasi less ang ating development compared to the other countries, but as it is ang taas-taas. So meron tayong data from the DENR, and in fact, we have a talk with Dr. Maylene Cayetano on April about air quality and lung health, no? Hindi ko lang makuha yung exact data, but what I can tell you is they had a study on Quezon City, and it looked on COPD exacerbations. So yung nakita doon po, wala naman pong positive correlation na mas madami yung kanilang admission rate dahil sa COPD exacerbations at the peak po ng ating ng mga air pollution indexes sa may Quezon City area. Pero ito po yung nakakatakot. Remember, yung air po is hindi static. Yung maliliit na particle ng air pollution na to, nadadalahan ng hangin as far as Ilocos, as far as even here in Tacloban City. And remember, hindi po yung malalaking particles ang nakakamatay. Yung po, yung respirable particle 2.5, yung po yung pinaka-pinong-pino na hindi natin makita po ng mga particles na pag nalanghap po natin ito, most of them find their way into our circulation. Doon na po nagkakaroon ng mga systemic na sakit, no? Dahil sa tinatawag na mga endothelial dysfunction, yung po yung pamamaga, yung mga daanan ng ating mga ugat. Nagkakaroon po ng mga sakit, lalo na ang cardiovascular diseases. Kaya po narinig natin yung climate cardiology, no? So doon po yung sa lungs po, dahil sa effect na nandoon po siya sa lungs, nagkakaroon po ng mga exacerbation ng sakit, lalo na ng COPD, ng asthma, mga pneumonia. Pero dahil sa mga particles na pinong-pino na to, nandoon na rin po sa ating nagkakaroon ng cancer. Ito pa po yung seryoso na to. Yung fine particles na to, na particulate matter 2.5, behave as endocrine disrupting chemicals. Maririnig mo yon from the talk of Dr. Ivy earlier na yung endocrine disrupting chemicals, pag ako nalanghap ko yon, it's in my DNA. So magkakaroon ako ng effect nun. Pero pag ako nanganak, na ipapasa ko yung defect na yon sa anak ko. At pag yung anak ko manganak, on the third generation, andam pa rin, ramdam na ramdam pa rin yung effect na yun. So yun po yung nakakatakot when it comes to yung endocrine disrupting chemicals and air pollution as one of those endocrine disrupting chemicals. So really, we really have to come together and clean up the air. Malaking ambisyon po yon, but I know that's the only way to go to sustain a healthy earth and healthy us.
Ma'am. So yun yung pamamana na ayaw natin mamana, no? Kasi grabe sakit yung mamamana natin at nakakalungkot, tayo yung may gawa. Buti kung talagang genetic, no? Yung pala talagang tayo yung mismong may creation. So nakakalungkot yung mga ganyan nakakarinig. Pero dapat hindi tayo tumigil sa palulungkot. Kailangan tayo ay may gawin para masolusyonan itong problema na to. So may comment po si Dr. Doble, no? Sabi ka, I'm very proud of Dr. Doble. Kasi, hi Dr. Doble, thank you po. Alam mo si Dr. Doble, nagplant daw siya ng 800 trees kasi siya isang supporter daw nitong ating advocacy. So maraming salamat. At may nag-comment pa nga daw na, why don't we encourage each PCP member? Kasi kung ang membership nga natin, I don't know, kung i-correct nyo ako kung ako yung pagkakamali. Mga 10,000 na ho ba tayo o 12,000?
Almost 12.
Kung mag-correct sa akin. Sa pagkakaalam ko, ganun po. So kung isa sa atin ang magtatanim, kahit whether it's a fruit-bearing tree or a plant, so yung magiging epekto nito, napakalaki. If yun nga sinabi ni Dr. Noel sa kanyang video, no, we cannot do this alone or the committee alone. We need each other to achieve this goal. So maraming salamat sa mga, alam ko baka marami pa kayong tanong pero we're running out of time. We hope that we could have more time to discuss this, but we know may mga limitations po tayo. But wag kayong mag-alala, yung partnership po ng Committee on Climate Change and Environment and Health and the Committee on Media Communication is continuous para ho magbigay kami ng mga lectures na diniscuss kanina na bits lang pero magkakaroon tayo ng full lectures about it so that mas marami pa tayong matututunan. So Dr. Paula, a summary from your committee before I call in the closing remarks.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Ginger, again for this opportunity. And I'd like to all of you think of the words of the UN General as he addressed the COP27. The way we are on a highway to a climate hell. So the words are very chilling. And I'd like you to put in your mind of elephants and zebras dying because of drought. And I'd like to picture also people dying because of poverty, because of outbreak of cholera, the COVID-19 pandemic, and other calamities driven by climate change and air pollution problems. And with this, I'd like all of us to really come together that we should all be together to address the problem of climate change, restore Earth, restore health. So in parting, I'd like everybody to know also that there is no contribution too small if it is done to sustain the health of Mother Earth and her people. So while the biggest problem that we need to address would be the bringing down the greenhouse gases by letting all the member nations of the World Health Organization to really be committed on bringing down their greenhouse gases and to divest of coal and fossil dependence. Tayo naman po, we have our own very small contributions that collectively put together is a very significant impact for Mother Earth. So with that, I'd like to leave everybody with the words, restore Earth, restore health. Starting today, plant a tree. Starting today, spread the word about climate change and also its impact on planetary health so that in the end, we could move to a sustainable future. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Dr. Paula. So we now call on Board of Regent Dr. Danilo Valdemor to give his closing remarks. Sir Danny.
Hello, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. So unang-una po, nagpapasalamat ang Board of Regents sa ating Committee on Media Communications, chaired by Dr. Ginger and headed by our champion regent, Dr. Beba. Maraming salamat sa Committee on Climate Change headed by Domiria and her committee. Maraming salamat for this opportunity at sa ating mga kaibigan ang kahalagahan ng pangangalaga sa ating kalikasan. So, salamat din sa ating Board of Regents para mabigyan tayo ng ganitong platform para ma-reach natin yung ating mga pasyente. Sa ating guests, moderators, partners, and friends from the media, thank you very much for gracing this today's event. At sa ating PCP staff for our support. Ngayon, iiwan ko lang kayo dito kasi again, today is November 8, the day of rising. So yung last message ko is to make every day a day of rising. And with that, thank you po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Sir Danny. Thank you so much. So for some announcement before we end this webinar, you can still register and attend the upcoming PCP Mid-Year Convention at the Subic Bay Convention Center on November 18 to 19. So wag po kayo magpapahuli. Mag-register na po. Saka meron po tayong isa pang webinar sa Sabado about the financial aspects in universal health, UHC, and money matters. So ito naman po, iba-iba talagang aspect ng PCP, no, para sa lahat, no. Hindi lang sa environment, also the role of the doctors in the universal health. Tapos meron pang, yun nga po, no, don't forget to bring your IDs pag umattend po ng mid-year convention. Nakikita na po sa ating mga social media accounts yung mga topics. Pwede nyo rin i-view siguro sa ating website yung mga schedule for the topics on the 25th mid-year convention. So yung sabi nga nila, don't be left behind. Register now and attend the mid-year convention. So also you may still continue to watch this webinar from our Facebook page and from our YouTube channel. And you could also continue to message us and follow us from our social media accounts. The time has now come to redefine our concept of health and to recognize that human health can never be separated from the health of the planet's natural resources. The time is now, and it is important to improve training for doctors on global health issues and the implications of climate change for public and individual health. Let us all work together to restore Earth, restore health. Let us all become doctors of health. With that, we would like to present to you ang isa pa pong project ng ating Committee on Climate Change and Environment Health, their TikTok on climate change. Thank you so much. Hanggang sa muli, ito po ang chair ng Media Communications till another health forum. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat at magandang umaga.
Climate change demands a climate action.
Nakakabahala, di ba?
Ano pwede natin gawin?
Here are 10 things to help Mother Nature.
Walk or bike more.
Patayin mo muna yung makina kung hindi ito ginagamit.
Refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Eat more gulay, less or no meat.
Quit burning garbage.
Quit smoking. No to vapes.
Support local.
Mag-ukay-ukay!
Hinay-hinay sa online shopping.
At syempre, ang magtanim ay di biro.
Tandaan, together we can do more.
Celebrate clean air, #Ginhawa.
The Philippine College of Physicians, through the Committee on Media Communication and Health Forum, wishes to thank its media partners, social media followers, and participants. See you again next time, here on the PCP Health Forum.